Hey, good morning, guys. Sean here, Burroughs Motivation. Just wanted to drop a quick message to you. I know it's been a little bit since I've released the last message, but I wanted to just get something out. There's just been a lot going on, a lot of changes, a lot of growth, a lot of things going on in the background that's gotten me a little bit distracted, a little bit off on the posting schedule. But I will definitely pick up the inspiration here, because I know not only do I need it, I know other people need it as well. So this morning I was actually thinking about your mind and what's the importance behind your mind. I was thinking about depression and anxiety, and the one thing that popped into my mind was, as I was getting ready, was, we worry, and when we worry, we basically tell God that we don't believe in what He said He would do for us. And you're trying to take control over something that you shouldn't be doing anyways. And you know what? That's not how we should be living. When we have worry, it's fear, and it's outside things that are coming into adjusting our perception of the situation. So it's creating the anxiety, it's creating the worry, it's creating the fear, it's creating the doubt. And that is not godly. And, when you have the worry, I was thinking about this, and sometimes, anxiety is real. I get that. I get that it can be debilitating, and it's crippling, and depression is real. And I know that that's true. The thing about it is, it's true if we're trying to control whatever the situation is. And I look at depression and anxiety and fear as not as something that I can't control, but I look at it as, okay, what am I supposed to be learning? What am I supposed to be getting out of this situation? What message is trying to come through to me that I'm not getting? And some people are able to think through that process. Some people truly have chemical imbalances in their body that require them to take medications for it and stuff like that. But we are given everything that we need in order to combat these things. When you have the anxiety, or you need to take prescriptions or something like that for it, or if you try to do it on your own, a lot of people try to not go the prescription route and do some type of drug or something like that, and that's not good, or do some type of or alcohol, excessive use of alcohol, or other destructive things that come to you to try to deal with the pressure, when in all reality we just need to slow down and try to think, okay, what am I trying to get out of this? Who's actually in control, and how do I get through it? And it's easy to say, and it's hard to do, but it's just because it's hard to do doesn't mean it's impossible to do. When you have to take your prescriptions or something like that to get a stable spot where you can think through the problem, that's fine. But know that you have everything in your body or in your being in order to deal with the situation, to think through it, to find those few nuggets that you need in order to get through it. Earlier this week, I was dealing with a couple of challenges, situations, and I like to talk out my situation. And there's very few people that I share my inner thoughts with, because they either have gone through it themselves, or I trust that their insight is valuable. I don't trust that just because everybody has an opinion that I value everybody's opinion. So, again, tangent, sorry. But I was going through something myself, and I've been really dealing with trying to understand, why am I going through this challenge? It keeps popping up. And a good friend of mine had shared with me that it was due to my own inadequacy. It's due to the fact that while I'm not inadequate in dealing with the situation, that I feel inadequate. So that the feeling, again, not having my mind right, about the situation through an imbalance in the reality of what was actually going on. So I have all the tools in order to handle the situation. I have all the tools and the proper mindset and the proper insight in order to handle most, if not all, situations in regards to that particular funk that I was in. But I was putting myself through it unjustly. I was putting myself through the situation because I felt that I was not enough, or I wasn't doing right, when in all actuality it was not even that. It was the simple fact that I was more than enough, but I felt that I wasn't adequate. And it stems back from childhood stuff, and the way that I think about things. And one of my huge pet peeves was that is being heard. One of my things is I used to it just drive me crazy to go from like calm to insane was to get the impression that I'm not being heard or listened to, and that used to send me into orbit. And to know that when I'm working with individuals or something like that, or working through a situation or problem where I'm needing others to participate, and if the message is not getting through, it's not that I'm not communicating it properly to the point where I know that it should be received. It's not being received properly. So I need to be able to take a step back and not deflect that non-receptiveness to me. And it doesn't mean that I'm not doing my job. It doesn't mean that I'm not doing what I need to do to communicate. It just means that that individual is not receiving it. I've got to find another way to connect directly with that person. So it takes communication from a grand scale and making it down to a micro scale. So I bring that to light because it's something that I have to figure out as I start to develop into my coaching role as a business owner. I have to take it from, I can take my grand message and boil it down to each individual person and make it fit for them so that they understand it, that they get the best traction that they need to from the message. So it doesn't mean that if on the grand scale, everybody wants to be able to broadcast a message and it be heard by the masses. It's not always that way. Where each individual that's receiving the message or that you're broadcasting to might not be in the position to receive at that frequency. Sort of like a radio. You got to sort of tune the dial in order to get the clear reception. And people are like that, and we're like that. We have to tune ourselves in order to receive the messages or the promptings that God would have us to receive in order for us to accomplish that goal or complete that task or connect with that person. It doesn't mean that you're broken. It just means that it's not. You need to fine-tune it a little bit. And you're always going to have to fine-tune your approach. You're always going to have to fine-tune your message. You're always going to have to fine-tune your technique. The person that feels that they've arrived is the person that you will go ahead and just sit there and watch, because you'll watch their demise. Because they no longer feel that they need to learn anything, that they're high on the hog, and that they don't need to be humbled, and that they're the biggest things since sliced bread. And that is so not the case. And that's when you can watch people crash and burn. But my hope is to not watch people crash and burn. I don't want to see people crash and burn. I want to be able to inspire, uplift, and motivate those individuals who not only want to be motivated, but speak at a level that works for them. So I know my biggest thing in communication is making sure that I reach people. And I've had a big issue in the past of feeling like I was not connecting. It's like, okay, I'm speaking English and I'm being very clear and I'm not using, $4 words or anything like that. But at the same time, the message is not coming across. And I'm like, in my head, I'm keeping it simple, I'm keeping it clean, I'm keeping it the least possible way to be lost in translation, but yet there's still fallout. And I was racking my brain with this and really just bugging me, that the fact that I was not able to connect with certain individuals or people in general on certain topics, and to realize and know that it's okay, I just need to tweak it, and I don't need to take it personal. It's just the simple fact that, okay, if I really care about connecting with that particular person, I need to find another way to do it. Or that time is not the right time to do it. You know, you can want so much for a person, but if that person's not willing to receive, then they're not willing to receive. I was meeting with a friend of mine after one of my networking meetings, and I really just wanted, him to pray for me. I was struggling with a couple things, and I just really needed to get out of my head about a certain topic, and he did a little role play with me on what I was doing, and that I didn't realize that I was doing. And he was like, you know what, Sean, you just got to turn it over to God. You got to give it to God, let him do it. And once you let it go, you got to let it go. You truly got to let it go. And he's like, you know, here's this, you know, sugar packet, you know, give it to me. And I put it in his hand. And he's like, you gave that to me. I was like, yes. Okay. He's like, now tell me you're going to give it to me, but don't let go of it. And I did that. And I was like, I'm going to give this to you, but I didn't let go of it. And he's like, that's the same thing with God. When you turn it over to him, you got to turn it over to him and let it go, and know that everything else that happens after that is his will. It's going to happen. You got to know that what you're asking for is going to come from it. So it's all through communication. It's all through execution. It's all through tweaking our actions to meet our desired income. Because you can be throwing down 100, rounds a minute, but if you're not on target, you're not on target. You're just wasting a bunch of rounds. If you want to be effective in your communication, you got to be able to tweak, not just broadcast to the masses. You're not firing for effect. You're not just out there just delivering a message that's landing on deaf ears. You want to be able to tweak it so that it meets a person's needs. And you can't control when that's going to happen. You can't control how that's going to happen. You just have to know that you need to do it. And if they step forward and say yes, they're not getting it, or you notice that they're not getting it, you just have to tweak it and get your mind right. You got to get your mind right. I guess that's, in the grand scheme of things, it's about getting your mind right with change. Change is not always fun, but it's something that has to be done. I embrace a lot of change. I'm constantly tweaking who I am, not necessarily who I am, but my approach to things to get the maximum effectiveness of the situation. I'm not doing it for the glory of myself. I'm trying to truly uplift and edify those who I come in contact with. I really want to do a good job, not just with my job, but in life. I want to have an impact. I want to lead people to accomplishing their goals and their dreams and their missions, to then turn around and help other people, whether it be corporate world, whether it be private sector, whether it be spiritually based, whether it be family based, whatever. There's a lot of things that are coming into to focus for me right now, and it's freaking awesome, but it's scary at the same time. But just because I'm scared doesn't mean I'm going to stop moving. And it's the same thing with relationships. It's the same thing with jobs. Just because it's scary doesn't mean you stop, because if you stop, you truly won't get what you want. And if you keep going, you don't know exactly what you're going to get. But if you know you're moving in the right direction, there's a possibility that you'll get what you get. That's what you want. And that's you don't have to, you'll never know if you're on target unless you take a shot. And once you take that shot, then you can assess, do I need to move my elevation up? Do I need to move it down? Do I need to go to the right a little bit? Do I need to go to the left? How's the windage? How's the outside forces affecting? And it's the same thing with our mind. You know, if you have a thought process and it's going kind of awry, you have to do some things to get your mind right. You have to add a little bit more positive, or you got to disassociate yourself with people that are not in your thought process. Doesn't mean you have to quit your friends or anything like that. You just, we just won't spend as much time with those group of friends, because at the end of the day, you've got somewhere you want to be, and your mind has got to be ready for it. You've got to get ready for it. So to those who struggle with depression, or those who struggle with anxiety, do what you need to do, but know that your mind is not twisted. You have what it takes. You might need a little bit of outside influence, whether it be prescriptions or counseling or therapy or whatever it might be, in order to get it right or to get it under control. But you have it. You are good enough. You're good enough right now in order to go after what you need or what you want. So, you can't be great without a coach. You can't be great without making changes and tweaks along the way. So that's my thought to you. I know it's a little bit of a ramble. But it's just something that's been on my mind, and I'm hoping that this will break the block that I've been having, creativity-wise. And I've actually not had it, because I keep my notebook with me and I keep all these thoughts. But I need to create more. I need to tweak in my mind so that I make it more of a priority to record and to put out new content every single day, so that I can improve my communication, so that I can have a better impact. So I'm not running from it. I needed that time in order to process. I'm a big processor. I'm a big thinker. And I'm looking forward to being able to stand on the stages with the masses and share a stage with Les Brown and share a stage with some of the larger named speakers, so that not only can I teach, but I can learn. That's an opportunity for me to hone my skills in speaking and presentation and effective communication, and be able to do the job that I have to do in my heart right now. So I appreciate you guys listening to this video. Make it a great Sunday. If you've not subscribed to the Burroughs Motivation channel on YouTube, go do that right now. There's going to be content that's going to be able to impact and improve your life. There's some live streams that I did before I created the Burroughs Motivation YouTube channel that I'm going to be putting out here soon. I'm going to represent it so that you can see it. Right now, as I'm thinking about it, I was thinking about how the orientation of the video was wrong, and I'm recording in that right now, and it's kind of stupid. But anyways, I had to get this message out, and that's the most important thing. I'll work on the technical side, but I just want to make sure that you guys get the impact and get the creative resonance from this. So make it a great day. Enjoy the Sunday. If it's another day, enjoy whatever day that's you're listening to this video. Go out, do good things. In order to be better, you got to do better. And if you do enough right things for the right reasons, everything else will fall into place. Take care, guys.